Hello everyone and welcome back to YouTube. So yeah, it's been a while, it's been 1 month since I've uploaded. There's been a couple of reasons for that. So obviously we are in a strict lockdown yet again. So it's been hard to think of content to create, especially when you're in the UK, you're in lockdown, gyms are closed, my channel is a fitness channel. It has been hard. Although I did have a plan to do this video here, 5 things I've learned in 2020, right at the start of January. But I've had quite a busy month so far with uni work and other things which I will not go into. But yeah, that has postponed it a bit. So I'm sorry about that. So yeah, this year, 2020, weird year for pretty much everyone. COVID-19 caused a lot of issues. Not just COVID-19, but I think I did have quite a bad year, not just with COVID-19, with my mental health, I'd say. Had quite a lot of depressive periods, even before the actual lockdown. But that has actually led me to learn a lot of things, because most of the things I actually learned was actually how to kind of deal with it better and kind of learn ways of improving myself that then improved like the condition of my mental health, I'd say, and helped me get over some of those problems. But the 5 things I'm talking about that I've learned today have mainly been to help me through my depression. And I am the type of person, even before I suffered a little bit from this, I always reflect on myself and try and improve myself anyway. Whenever things go wrong, I always think, what's the thing I can do myself to improve myself so this won't happen again. But anyways, I've rambled on for a bit now, so I'll go on to my first thing I learned in 2020. Well, it isn't the first in any order, but just the first thing I'm going to talk about. The first thing I think I learned is that to have a smaller and closer friendship group. I think at the start of the year, when my depression started, but this was one of the small little factors. I think I placed too much importance on making as many friends as possible, and it was hard because I started to get into the nightlife industry, so I consistently working every week there, and you do meet a lot of people, and you do kind of want to make friends with a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, I think it's good to network with a lot of people and socialize with a lot of people. I think there's a lot of utility in that, and I don't regret doing that. But I think in my mind, I think I got too uptight if I didn't make friends with many of them or got close to any of them. And I already had a good set of mates before consistently working in that industry. So yeah, I feel like I should have maybe focused more on developing them friendships, which is something I eventually learned. A lockdown happened, and me and my close friendship group went back to Newcastle at the start of July, and I was kind of, although I wanted to, so it wasn't really forced, but it was kind of forced to spend much more time with them because clubs still closed as well, so I didn't have my job. And I really feel like it benefited me getting a lot closer to them. Just building smaller, closer friendships, I think for me, just having, a small amount, but really good friendships rather than trying to make friends with as many people as possible has definitely improved my mindset quite a bit and just improved my life quite a bit, to be fair. So number 2 on the list of things I learned in 2020 was how to compare myself to people more healthily. I think this is a problem that definitely affected me at the start of the year. I definitely used to compare myself to people quite unhealthily, and I think a lot of our generation do that, and it's quite hard with social media, especially the likes of Instagram. We see lots of like Instagram models or people that are smashing it or seem to be smashing life on Instagram, and it is quite hard to stop comparing yourself to them. I think something that helped me kind of overcome this was realising that people just value different things. So people that might seem better than you at certain things, it's probably just because they value it more, so therefore they're more likely to work harder at it. So I kind of looked at people that may seem like they're doing better than me at certain things, and now I just realise they probably just value it more. They probably just work harder than me at it. I don't look at people that don't have like an aesthetically pleasing body as me and go, oh, they're worse than me, because that's just stupid. They probably just don't care about having as good a body as I have, as I care about having a good body. So they probably just don't work as hard as it at me. It doesn't make them a worse person, they just don't value it as much. I'm also not going to say that I've completely stopped comparing myself to other people, because that is a lie. I still do compare myself to other people. And there's a few reasons why. I think, to be honest, it is just human nature. You can't help but compare yourself to other people, especially, like I said earlier, in our generation with social media and that, it's almost impossible. And also the other reason is that you can actually get some benefits from it. I often compare myself to fitness YouTubers or people at the top of the industry that I want to go into, the fitness industry, and kind of look at how they operate in life and kind of take things from them and implement it into the way I act and into the way I interact with the world. So yeah, I think a big thing that's helped me this year is learn how to compare myself to people more healthily. And I think this is a problem that can definitely help a lot of our generation, because it is a profound problem, I think, in our generation. So I think the main thing is when you do compare yourself to other people, is to just understand that they are probably better than you at that because they value that more. So they work harder than that at you. And that does not make them a better person. They just simply value different things to what you value. That brings me on to the third thing I learned. And this was quite early on. And this is about nutrition and sleep. And obviously, I think you kind of know that nutrition and sleep does help your physique, and it did. Before lockdown, I was living on a diet of vodka and toast. I was going out 4 days a week, getting mortal every single time I went out. Yeah, my diet was absolutely awful. I mean, my physique wasn't actually too bad. Like, I still had a physical six-pack and had defined muscles. I think I was sitting probably around about 65 kg at that point. But definitely that first lockdown that happened, I went back to my dad's and lived with my dad for a bit, and it forced me to get a good diet. And obviously that improved my physique because I kind of went on it was a slight bulk, it was like a bulk to my maintenance calories. And yeah, that improved my physique a lot. But I'm not really going to go into too much detail about how it can improve your physique, because I feel like I actually learned, the best thing I learned from that is how it improved my mind. I think eating more nutritional food definitely like regulated my mood better, because I was very depressed before the first lockdown, and I felt like it definitely gradually went down after lockdown, or after lockdown was announced, actually during the lockdown and towards the end of the year, because I ate so much better. I think that was definitely a factor in it. And on top of that, sleep, obviously I haven't spoken about sleep yet. As you can tell, I was going out 4 nights a week before the first lockdown, so my sleep was absolutely awful. And even when I wasn't going out 4 times a week, sometimes I'd be working that night till about 2 a.m. So yeah, my sleep was absolutely awful, and obviously I think that was a factor in improving my physique when I started sleeping better when clubs got closed, and I think it also improved my mood. So definitely sleep and nutrition is a big thing that has helped me this year. Fourth thing I learned in 2020 is how to care about what people think about me less. And this is very similar to the second one, and actually comes from the second one, the main like antagonist for that thing I learned, that people value different things. I'm also not gonna say, I learned how to not care what anyone thinks about me, because I also think like comparing yourself to other people, it's impossible to completely eliminate it. I think it's only human nature. And there is actually some benefits to caring what people think about you, otherwise you'd be doing some pretty weird things. I think there's a few reasons why I cared about what people thought about me less. And they're all kind of linked, all these 5 things I learned, to be honest. They're all linked strategies I kind of used to improve my mental health. Yeah, the first thing that kind of helped was having a smaller friendship group. I think not trying to make friends with so many people meant that I didn't care about what so many people think about me, because let's be honest, you do care about what your friends think about you. So the fact that I was trying to make so many friends, I cared about what so many people thought about me, and it just wasn't healthy. But then when I narrowed my friendship group down a bit, I only really stuck on building relationships with a small amount of friends. I only really cared about what they thought about me, and obviously they respected me because your friends respect each other. So that helped me caring about what people think less. Another one was obviously nutrition and sleep, because that was better, my mood was regulated better, and I was more content with myself. And also linking to the second one, I think the fact that I understood that people value different things kind of made me care less about what people think about me, because some things I might be doing that they may not understand is because maybe they just don't value that. And if I see the value in that, then there's nothing wrong with me doing that. Now on to the 5th and final one, and that is that I've learned how to get through the darker times. as I've kind of said in this video, I did spend a large part of 2020 depressed. Kind of two different stages. The first one before lockdown, like the start year, was nothing to do with lockdown. It was just simply, I just didn't want anything in life, which was a bit weird. Especially when I've never really experienced any depressive moods, it did hit me quite weird. And I think that was just mainly just because all I was doing was just going out all the time. I didn't really have any meaning, and like I said, my nutrition and my sleep was poor, so my mood was poorly regulated. So I think that's what caused me to just not want anything. It was pretty horrible, and I did struggle to deal with that. And then later on during the year, because I think the food and sleep regulated my mood a bit more, I actually did want things, and I found meaning, specifically this YouTube actually, in the fitness industry, that gave me a bit of meaning and a bit of something to aim at, really. I think everyone needs that. But the kind of depressive stages I had with that was mainly due to lockdown. I am a very extroverted person, so a lack of social activity did I get most of my kind of buzz out of that. So I kind of felt like that did lower my mood. And I had very strange depressive moods where I'd literally doubt everything and overthink everything. And it was quite horrible, but I felt like that was easier to get through than the first stage of depression I had before the lockdown. But what I kind of learned from that is every single time I got into one of those depressive moods, because I've gone through it quite a lot of times before, it was kind of like I was used to it. I just kept on saying to myself, you're just going through one of these moods, it'll be over in an hour or two, which always was. Although it did happen, obviously, you know, in certain phases, a few days in a row, in a couple of weeks. And then obviously I'd be fine for a few weeks maybe. It was very touch and go. But I did learn that I will get through these dark times, because every time I got into one of these depressive moods, I was out of it in an hour or two. Although it's horrible during it, I literally doubted everything, overthought everything. I just learned to keep telling myself, Jack, you're just overthinking things. And that's something now, even now and again, although nowhere near as much, I still get these moods now and again. I think when lockdown's over, to be honest, I think I will almost never have this problem. But it's just lockdown. It does really affect me. But I have learned, which is a big thing for me and helped me get over my depression, that when I am in these moods, I always just tell myself, Jack, you're just overthinking. It's just these moods that are causing it. It's not, you wouldn't think this stuff normally. It's just these moods that are causing this stuff. Anyway, I've rambled on for quite a bit. But I hope you enjoyed listening to it, and I hope you can kind of got something from it and you can implement it in your own life to improve your own life, or to maybe, if you're suffering with past mental health problems or current mental health problems like me, to kind of learn how to deal with them better. Because I feel like most of these things I did learn in 2020 was to help with the depressive waves I had. Anyway guys, I think the next few videos won't be as sit down long and chatty as this. I just thought I'd try something different, and as well, gyms are closed, so it's hard to get much gym content, but I will try and produce a little bit more fitness content for you guys. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you in the next one.